Capital News tonight. Ngere Special Force starts construction of bridges in Handeni. President Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein launches new citizenship IDs in Zanzibar. And in sports, Tanzania Cricket Association TCA to hold elections on November 17th of this year. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. The special force from Ngere military base in Morogoro region has started construction of temporary bridges in Handeni district, Tanga region. One of the bridges is being built on the outskirts of Handeni in order to restore links between Handeni and Kilindi districts after floods destroyed the bridge over the weekend. 13 people were killed after their vehicle drove over the damaged bridge.
The bridge is expected to be completed in a very short space of time. I ask the people to work with us. As you can see, they're already contributing. They've come from far to help us, so we've decided to assist where we can. We need this bridge very much. So far, 16 bodies have been recovered. One was discovered today as the district office. We assisted relatives with transport so that the body could be transported to Bagamoyo.
And the President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, has launched new citizenship identification cards in the Isles. Speaking at the occasion, President Dr. Shein said the new IDs are important to protect peace and stability in the Isles.
There have been great changes made with regards to the implementation of development agenda, taking into consideration the need of the people and global need. At the moment, we are in a world of globalization, whereby the rate of human interaction is high. Therefore, there is a need to have strategic plans to protect peace. I will continue to educate the people of Zanzibar and non-Zanzibarians living here to obey all laws of immigration so they can enjoy opportunities available in Zanzibar with ease. We will remind each other of the benefits in having a Zanzibar national ID card. If one doesn't, he cannot vote, register a company, or own land, amongst other benefits.
And Singida region has started to implement directives given by the Prime Minister to address people's grievances written on placards raised during his tour of the region recently. The move comes after authorities in the region held a meeting attended by residents who, however, were not happy by procedures used to address their concerns.
From the very beginning, we've been asking for land that belonged to us. Land officials were also present when Honorable Lukuvi came. How can justice be served? It would be much better if we were allocated different people, because they are the very people who owe us land, yet they've been allocated to handle affairs regarding this matter. They have their own stamp as the cooperative union, but what is most surprising is they've been using the regional office logo to cheat us out of our land. All experts were included, and they were supposed to have all answers and explanation regarding your challenges.
Former Prime Minister Mizengo Pinda has called on Tanzanians to turn up in big numbers in order to elect local government leaders, reminding that the responsibility to protect existing peace in the country starts with them. The former Prime Minister said this in Dar es Salaam during a national forum on peace during local government elections.
Sote tunafahamu ni jukumu la serikali kupitia vyombo vyetu vya ulinzi na usalama kulinda raia na mali zao.
We all know that it is the government responsibility and security organs in protecting people, assets and safeguard peace and stability. However, these efforts do not just rely on the government's efforts, but responsibility is also relying on citizens. By reporting to security organs whenever there are any suspicious incidences that might disturb our peace, citizens are part of the government. All who complained on poor services at the local government level, this is high time to select new leaders who will meet your standards and requirements. The candidates will have 7 days of campaigning. My call to citizens of this country is to be careful on pledges made by the candidates. If they are full of illusions, it's better to say no to them and focus on people who are patriotic with hunger for developments. The elections will be of 1 day and work will resume afterwards, and whoever will win then will be crowned as the leader legally, and whoever will lose should rather comply to the results instead of causing chaos and hostility among contestants. There is no need of disturbing peace.
And the government has handed over to Tanzania People's Defense Force the task of constructing Ubungo District Hospital to be built at a cost of 1.5 billion shillings within 3 months. The hospital is being constructed at Kimara Baruti area in Dar es Salaam.
Na lengo la kuanzisha wilaya ni kusogeza huduma kwa wananchi.
The aim of forming this district is allowing social services get closer to citizens. When we held a tour in Ubungo district, we found out that the government has set aside 500 million shillings for construction of the hospital, which is used right now, where 400 million was for construction of the hospital and 100 million was for purchasing hospital equipment. Apparently, Ubungo district was using Palestina Hospital as a district hospital.
Kimara Baruti kwa kweli ni eneo ambalo linakuwa na fursa nzuri kwa sababu
Kimara Baruti is a very potential area because one can find Kimara Ward, Ubungo, Sinza, Makurumla, Burhati and Mazese wards. Thus, the place that has been chosen to construct the hospital will actually be at the center of all of these wards.
Changamoto ambazo tunazozipata kwa kweli hospitali ziko mbali.
The main challenge is that hospitals are very far from our neighborhoods. I'm quite pleased by this move made by the government. Honestly, CCM should continue ruling this country.
The Minister of Works, Transport and Communication, Engineer Isaac Mwewe, has launched a 112.3-kilometer outer ring roads project in Dodoma City with a warning to stakeholders to ensure nothing delays completion of the project.
African Development Bank have issued a 412 million shillings loan, which is equivalent to 83%, with the government of Tanzania contributing 82 billion shillings, which is equivalent to 16%, and 17 billion shillings for compensation, where compensation will be paid according to our laws and regulations.
complementary initiatives.
We call this complementary initiatives, where there shall be a few small projects that will bring meaning to this big project. Roads will be constructed for the people to benefit from more services like hospitals, water and education. Completion of this road will bring value to our region here in Dodoma and make this region one among the few cities in the Eastern and Central Africa with this kind of roads.
The Defense and Security Committee in Shinyanga region, in collaboration with Tanzania Revenue Authority, has seized a consignment of banned alcohol called Shujaa, hidden at an illegal warehouse on the outskirts of Shinyanga town. The police force has arrested 3 people in connection with the illegal consignment.
Baada ya kukamata huu mzigo na kuweka ile seal, wakaja baadaye wakakata ile seal, ndio mzigo ukatoroshwa ukaja kufichwa huku.
Kinachofuata kimsingi, godown hili ambalo sio rasmi linatakiwa lifungwe na mzigo huu. Kwa maana hiyo sasa, kwa sababu godown lenyewe halina usajili wa mamlaka.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Simon Siro, has warned people who own firearms illegally and use them in criminal activities in Mwanza to surrender them immediately. IGP Simon Siro gave the warning when addressing small traders at Makauro Boy Market in Mwanza City.
If there is any street hawker with a gun, he must disown it immediately. He cares for his family and must engage in legal trade. If not, you could get killed and leave your family with no one to look after them. You young, energetic men, you must not be used by anybody for his own personal gain. We welcomed them, but they took over. We gave them land, but it has reached a point where their leaders have lost way. And if anyone takes land from you because you've spoken the truth, Simon Siro is here. Please protect them.
That's all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, the wife of Kenya's President, Margaret Kenyatta, has called on the international community to come up with strategies which will help mitigate effects of climate change. Speaking in Nairobi, the First Lady said deliberate measures need to be taken by countries around the world to address the challenge. The call comes at a time when more than 30 people are reported to have been killed by floods which have left thousands homeless.
But unfortunately, it is seen as a myth or an inconvenient truth. Kenya is vulnerable to climate change, and that calls for us to think differently, to act differently, and with urgency, because climate-related disasters, particularly extreme droughts and floods, are becoming more frequent. It is adversely impacting livelihoods. It is affecting the health of many, particularly women, children, the elderly, and persons living with disabilities.
We are here because climate change is real. If in fact it was otherwise, if climate change was a hoax, we wouldn't be here. Science, I think, is unanimous on this point. It is important, therefore, that we take climate change, in fact, now categorized as climate emergency and bordering on climate crisis.
The Speaker of Uganda's Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, has written to the Secretary of the House instructing legislators and employees of the department to use the national airline on all their travels. The move is part of measures being taken to revive the national airline, which became bankrupt 2 decades ago.
Sense of patriotism, and I support it fully. There is a need for us to contribute to the growth of what is ours.
Because at least they'll get steady business.
The Worldwide Fund for Nature, Tanzania, plans to start a program for Africa which will help implementation of environment conservation. This was revealed at a forum on the African forest landscape restoration taking place in Accra, Ghana.
The WWF is now starting an Africa initiative called the Africa Forest Landscape Initiative. We want to join with NEDBUD and Afro 100 in implementing this. Among the 27 countries here that have already pledged, 14 of them, which are south of Sahara, are areas where WWF works. As you know, we as youth are important in the community and we have the responsibility to implement anything, and that is why we are here.
Off with international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Thank you for staying with us, and on to business news. Miss World 2018 Vanessa Pons has visited Arusha National Park and said that Tanzania is a country blessed with natural resources, which if properly utilized will contribute to bring about rapid economic growth.
Beautiful nature. Don't see it in the movies. Come to Tanzania. Live it. Go to these beautiful hotels they have all around. Just experiment with the people and just try the food. The food is very good.
Naona kuja kwake Miss World.
Miss World coming here will advertise the Arusha National Park significantly because she's not a Tanzanian, but she is a global symbol. So many will be happy to learn more about Tanzania.
Mobile phone company Tigo has launched a campaign to award customers who use Tigo Pesa services with MasterCard QR. Tigo says they will be awarded up to 3% according to transactions made.
Our service will from now on be known as the Tigo Pesa MasterPass QR. I want to assure you that the change is only in name, but the services will remain the same.
Na hamna mabadiliko yoyote yanayotokea.
Na Tigo Tanzania ndio maana tumekuja pamoja.
We have a strong relationship with Tigo Tanzania, and that is why we have come here together. We have worked together for a year now. We are back to say that our relationship has improved.
Cashew nut farmers from Mayanga Ward in Mtwara District Council, Mtwara Region, have called on the government to speedily hold auctions and to ensure sacks are available, as many are forced to store their cashew nuts in substandard bags.
Cashew nut prices this season are good, but there are challenges such as sacks not being available at the warehouses and delays in auctions. We have been collecting the harvest from 21st, and we have about 360 tons. Cashew nuts that have been transported to the main warehouse are about 220 tons, 800 kilos. According to this year's estimates, we expect to produce 290 to 300,000 tons in this season, and therefore 4,040,000 sacks are needed. We already have 1 million sacks.
And that's where we leave off with business news. Sports news is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
And in sports, Tanzania Cricket Association TCA will hold its elections on November 17th this year after finalizing the process of forming a new constitution.
Nafasi ya katibu mtendaji ni kwamba nafasi hiyo haitogombewa bali
the General Secretary's post will not be contested for because, according to the TCA Constitution, the General Secretary will be an employee. So the new administration will see who fits to be employed to be the General Secretary of the Cricket Association here in Tanzania.
A campaign aimed at developing football among children living in poor conditions has been started at the JMK Youth Park, but it is facing challenges from the parents and guardians.
We saw that talents are being lost in our society, and we aimed at helping children that live in hard conditions. Most children living in hard conditions have talents, but their parents and guardians do not acknowledge the talents of those children. We, as an organization, have started this thing to help these children.
Stephen Curry scored 26 points and Draymond Green had a triple-double as the visiting Golden State Warriors defeated the New Orleans Pelicans 134-123 in a matchup of previously winless teams.
Defending Western Conference champion Warriors began the season with losses to the Clippers and Thunder by an average of 23.5 points. But they were sharp from the beginning against the Pelicans, who had lost their first 3 games by an average of just 6 points. Green had 16 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists. D'Angelo Russell scored 24 points. Damian Lee added 23 off the bench. Jordan Poole scored 13, and Glenn Robinson had 12. The Warriors out-rebounded the Pelicans 61-41. Brandon Ingram had 27 points and 10 rebounds to lead New Orleans in scoring for the 4th consecutive game. Jackson Hayes added 19 points, Kenrich Williams had 16, Nickel Alexander-Walker scored 15, and Josh Hart and Lonzo Ball had 12 each.
Supporters groups are to meet the Premier League on Tuesday to demand action on VAR after another weekend of chaos beset video refereeing technology. Here's more on this story.
Match-going fans are increasingly concerned over VAR, with the time taken to make decisions and a lack of communication inside grounds the key points of contention. Anti-VAR chants have become a soundtrack at matches, and there is concern that even the measures currently in place to help supporters, such as replays of overturned decisions, are not being used properly. A disallowed winning goal in the match between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, and 2 penalties given over the head of the referee Stuart Atwell during the Manchester United's victory over Norwich are the latest incidents to bring the issue into focus, and the Football Supporters Association is calling on the Premier League to take action.
Liverpool could be without Joel Matip until after the next international break because of the knee injury that has restricted the defender to one appearance in the last month.
Suffered a kick to the knee in the win at Sheffield United on 28th of September and returned to the side against Manchester United following a 3-week recovery period. The central defender felt the injury again at Old Trafford, however, and Liverpool planned to ease his return to full fitness. The 28-year-old, who recently signed a 5-year contract at Liverpool, will miss Wednesday's Carabao Cup tie with Arsenal, Saturday's Premier League visit to Aston Villa, the Champions League return with Genk, and Manchester City's trip to Anfield should he remain sidelined until after the international break.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.